Guys, what's going on? Hope everyone's well, man. It's MKS again here, as you already know. Excuse me, sorry. Back with another video. I wasn't sure what to. I had quite a few different ideas I wanted to cover. Excuse me, sorry. So I wasn't sure which one to go for or cover. So I thought that just make a video about miscellaneous random ideas. So whatever ideas come to my mind. On Monday, I normally like to try and be more flexible and not plan things out too much, just write whatever ideas come to my mind. But sometimes I do struggle with that, making decisions, like having so many ideas and like all these different notebooks. I wonder which notes to write. So that is a bit of a challenge. But yeah, I was thinking of this idea I had a while back I call microing, which is about a tech mad idea I had ages ago, another one of my mad ideas, to bring all the major tech companies, as many tech companies around the world, to work together, network together. Maybe they can lobby together to get tax deals or network together on innovation. Maybe another naive idea I had in my late teens to early 20s or mid 20s even, maybe even early, excuse me, sorry, maybe even early 30s. So I had all these mad ideas and being quite naive as well. Sorry, I had quite a lot of ideas, but also very naive sort of dreams about things I wanted to do. As I say, I wanted to make a tech network which brought all the tech companies together to network together and possibly even to form one huge company. And I watched this film quite a few times called The Pirates of Silicon Valley. Or they should give me commission for any future sales, I suppose. But anyway, but yeah, I watched it. Excuse me, sorry. I watched quite a few of those. I watched it quite a few times, sorry, which was supposed to be the story about how Bill Gates and Steve Jobs built their businesses into huge companies. Obviously, I think Apple is supposed to be the biggest company in the world today. So, and it was called The Pirates of Silicon Valley. And I thought of an idea. I called it the Masters of Silicon Valley, which was about the top 5 or 6 tech companies in the world networking together somehow. Or I suppose they already do probably network together, but and I think people say in the tech industry normally it's they can steal each other's ideas and be rivals and angry with each other one minute, and then they can trade with each other next. I'm not sure how true that is, but yeah. So Bill Gates was said just took a lot of ideas off Apple and stole a lot of their design, but at the same time, they still became friends. And Microsoft and Bill Gates even bailed out Apple when they were struggling. But yeah, so like my idea, I thought of an idea called Micro, which was based on like Microsoft, and then think about it could be like the hardware version could be Micro Hard, and I even thought of a slogan like quality hardware for the same company that bought you quality software. And yeah, I wanted to make back in the past, as with many of my projects, I wanted to make loads of money from those ideas, but now I mainly wish to be a philanthropist and help Africa somehow to become a leader in tech. So I wanted to talk about these ideas for this company I wanted to create called Microing, which would work on all sorts of things to do with tech, everything to do with tech, and try to bring all tech companies together. And probably as time's gone by, I thought they could like sort of operate across Africa and try and help Africa to become a leader in tech, again for like tax deals, and maybe lobby together to get favourable tax deals, and maybe the African countries and people from Africa and Pan-Africanists can talk about supporting tech companies from around the world, including America and Japan and places like that, to get tax exemptions in return for trading up. And I already covered this idea, but in terms of trading up young people, especially, or people generally in Africa, and in a key area, which would create a lot of jobs and opportunities, even businesses, and a lot of people in Africa. I suppose there's a huge youth unemployment crisis, so that could help to work on that problem, solve that problem, at least a little bit. So anyway, I hope you find that idea interesting about how to talk about this idea I call microing, and some of those tech ideas, and possibly some of my ideas about and maybe some of my I call it QE confessions about some of my naive ideas I had, if I had the confidence to talk about them. I know it probably maybe sounds really stupid, but about QE, which is probably most people know, is quantitative easing. These naive ideas I had, and the strange dreams I had about like there being a network for banks, which all the banks work together. Again, they probably do already network with each other whilst competing with each other, and but yeah, they could print. My idea about them being able to print money, but at the same time, they can only do that on the condition that they give a lot of that money towards disabled people or other disadvantaged groups. But a lot of people obviously would say that, like a lot of people say that they already do print money, and that's one of the problems with our economy, why the economy's so low. Yeah, I wanted to possibly talk about some other ideas like supporting African STEM, which I know I've covered before, but possibly to go through those points again, and possibly take on board any ideas about how Africa, the African continent can develop STEM and be supported, fundraising for Africa to develop STEM, things like that. And as I talked about before, like sending stuff like art materials for young artists across Asia and Africa and indigenous communities. What I talked about before, as the indigenous people from Africa, Australasia, or Oceania, whichever you prefer to call it, the Americas and Asia. So apologies if I'm repeating a lot of those ideas or points. But around Thursday or Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I hope to talk more about the football stuff, which I talked about before. And have a bit of fun talking about that. Sorry, always seems to be going. Have a bit of fun talking about those ideas. But yeah, so as I say, on Monday I like to try and just think whatever ideas come to my mind. And some days I like to try and plan the whole day to get certain things done. On Mondays I do try and Fridays as well. I try to be a bit more flexible in terms of ideas and plans and things like that. And not be too planned or structured, but to do whatever comes to mind. Now I'm running out of things to say, but yeah, I hope to talk about as many of those things as possible, like, as I say, microing, my tech ideas, possibly some ideas I have for like business or banking. Nowadays, most of my ideas are like as I say, most of my ideas, especially when it comes to financial stuff, is about helping people from Africa, Australasia, the Americas and Asia, and also things about like India, like Indian exports, or what does India export, or talking about India's education system, or things we can learn about India, or what places things are hard to see and do in India, how to ideas for India, like how to encourage tourism and help them to have better diplomatic relations with as many people, with as many other countries as possible. And things like that. But Asia generally, as I say, in Africa. And as I say, I love to make networks like Malaysia, India, Indonesia, and Singapore working together, and also Asia generally, and Asia and Africa. And they could be like anti-imperial networks. Anyway, hopefully I didn't waffle too much. As ever, I'd love to have your opinions, your views. And if you like this video, as ever, please give it a thumbs up and share it and everything. Peace and love.